Jill, why did it make such a significant difference in your classrooms?
Well, the biggest thing that I can tell you that we saw immediately upon our installation of 1,700 boards is the engagement of students. And I don't think we understood the area we were missing in the classroom instruction until the boards were in and we watched how kids changed the way they behaved and interacted with the learning as a result of having the boards in place.
Now, how have your teachers adjusted to this new style of teaching? Because they're fairly well down the road now. You've had them for what, 4 years?
That's right.
So, a lot of people want to know, so what's down the road with my teachers as they roll into this type of transformation?
Well, I think it is a down-the-road project. It isn't going to happen overnight. You will see some changes, but it does take time. And so, the first thing that they did was sort of the ooh-ah kinds of things. Ooh, look, I can show a video at full screen. Ooh, look, I can pull up the pictures and annotate on top of them. And then they began to say, hey, I can develop my own content, and here are resources that I can pull in and make a part of what I'm doing in my daily lesson. Over time, we sort of worked with them to say, look, there are ways you can build in assessment and then change what you're doing with instruction based on the feedback you're getting in real time. And that was a difference from what we've been able to provide in the past.
Now, a hot topic I know that you and I spend a lot of time talking with is a learning repository. That's always been a passion of yours. Why don't you define what a learning repository is?
I think of a learning repository as being a digital media center. So just like you go to a traditional media center to pick out print resources that you can take back to your classroom, we see that learning object repository as a place that we can calculate and store all of the digital content that we have available, and we do it in a way that teachers can find what they need and then pull it in for supporting that instruction in the classroom.
Now, we recently signed an agreement with Safari Montage. How do you think that's going to impact? Because you're both a Safari Montage customer as well as a Promethean customer. What do you think is going to be the impact for your district on that?
Well, I think it's already something that we can see the meaning for. We pushed for it because having a way to store flip charts within Safari Montage, to be able to align those to standards, to be able to tag them with keywords and metadata so that they're searchable, means that teachers can go to one place to get their stuff as opposed to having to do that search multiple times across multiple platforms.
And a close friend of yours and mine, Bailey Mitchell, your CIO, he loves to tell the story about speedboats, tugboats, and rocks. Can you expand about for him? Because some of our listeners have never heard that. What is that?
Well, what we see in terms of learning to do things with the whiteboard is that you've got some folks who just automatically take off and speed ahead of the group, and they're out there trying the latest and greatest thing. And then you've got some folks who, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry.
That's okay. We'll start that question again. Here we go.
Sorry.
We'll do this question again. So a good friend of ours, Bailey Mitchell, CIO, who's, we must throw in, been on the cover of the Journal, in case he's watching this video, and we know that we revere him. He talks about speedboats, tugboats, and rocks out there in the district. What's that definition about?
Well, you're going to have teachers who go out and from the get-go just jump ahead of the group, and they're going to be early adopters. They'll try anything. They go for the really high flying. Then you've got folks, they'll be pulled along as they see people kind of get going, and they'll plod along steadily and, be middle of the road. And then you've got people who are the rocks, who don't tend to move. But what we saw when we implemented whiteboards is that the rocks were teaching the rocks. They were excited to run across and show each other something new. So they weren't really rocks anymore because they were willing to move, to change, to try new things, and they were excited by what Promethean brought to the table.
The biggest change in education for you on your career has been what?
Promethean Active Classroom, no doubt.
Jill, thanks. As always, wish you and Bailey the best of luck in everything you do. Look forward to always seeing you have that success in Forsyth County. And for anybody out there listening, Open invitation always to come see what's going on in Forsyth.
Come on down. We'd love to have you.
Thanks.